Hello, everyone, and welcome to my project for the Through Your Eyes War and Peace Veteran Project. And I'm doing mine over my first cousin once removed, Kyle Wieland. And my name is Zach Ahrenholtz. So the veteran I interviewed was a Kyle Wieland who was born in Algona, Iowa. Like I've said previously, he is my first cousin once removed. Right now, he lives in the state of Oregon, where he works at Oregon State University. I'll explain later why exactly he does live in the state of Oregon. In 2004 is when he first joined the Army, where he became an infantryman with 11 Bravo. Uh, then he served in Iraq from 2006 2007, and then he served in Afghanistan from 2008 to 2009. In the picture on the left, I'll explain later where it was taken and everything like that. And so the very first place you got to go if you're joining the Army, you have to do training. And so Kyle, he did his basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. After he did basic, he stayed in Fort Benning and attended airborne school. And then after that, he went to Fort Bragg, where he took a course in the Special Forces Qualification course, which he passed. But while taking the course, he got injured, so he had to push back his he had to push back when he was actually going to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. And so he actually went to Alaska, where he joined the 3rd Battalion 509th Infantry. And then after that, that's when he got his first tour. The photo that is in the background right there is taken when he just arrived back from R&R, which is rest and relaxation, in his second tour in Afghanistan. And it's a funny story that he remembers this picture being taken just like yesterday because he was not acclimated to the heat. And so that's just a little funny story behind that photo. And so after he was stationed in Alaska, he did his first tour in Iraq, which he left in October 2006 and was there till November of 2007. He was stationed in Alexandria, Iraq, which is just south of Baghdad, as you can see in the map. He basically did a lot of patrolling while he was there, which is what the infantry does, is what he told me, which how he described it is just a bunch of walking, driving, and sitting around, making sure everything's in order as well. He explains that there was not a lot of firefights in Iraq, but a lot of IEDs, which are those, if you don't know, those small bombs that were used, especially like on the roads and in the ground. He explains a story that when he first arrived in Iraq, that there was this newly paved road, and by the time that he left a year later, that road was completely gone, which just puts in perspective how dangerous these IEDs were and how much territory he had to walk and how close he was to losing a limb or something. After his first tour, then he had a second tour in Afghanistan, where he was there from July 2008 to June 2009. He basically, even though he had those 6 to 8 months of rest, he felt like he went straight back into the line of fire. He was located in Afghanistan by the Kunar province, which is by the Peck River. He explained that Afghanistan was a lot hotter than Iraq, in that it got up to 120 degrees once, and didn't help either that they wore everything around them as well. There's a lot more firefights, he explained, in Afghanistan so much. He was in a lot of them. He's surprised that he never really got winged or anything like that. For how hot it was and how I knew he had to wear a lot of stuff, so I asked him the heaviest thing he had to carry, and he's like, the body armor was so much that even sometimes he was just thinking, why am I wearing this? Because it just resonates so much heat. And so he's like, I don't know why I should really wear this because it doesn't do a lot, but at the same time, he knew exactly why he had to. So that's just a little funny story that the heaviest thing he had to carry. But yeah, that was his second tour in Afghanistan. And I just realized, so the picture I want to explain here, the top right corner in that picture is it was taken in Iraq, and just with a couple buddies of his, which is Chad, Pfeiffer, and Jacob. So Kyle's on the left, Chad, and then Jacob. And so the pictures here, the top right one, obviously, is from the very first slide in the presentation, which is Kyle is actually on the right there. Ben Broche is on the left. And what's funny is that this photo, first of all, the photo is taken at Peck River Valley, And but what's cool is that Ben is actually a family member from Kyle's mother's side and of the family. And then Ben was actually there to replace Kyle in Afghanistan. So it just shows how small of a world this really is, which is very interesting. And the bottom right picture is uh, Kyle's battalion commander pinning Kyle, which he's the guy getting pinned. His a combat infantry badge, or how they say it, the CIB, which was a pretty big deal for an infantryman. My apologies. And so then I just asked him about just personal experience as well. When he first got back home, I was like, "Did you do anything fun? Like, did you go see anyone or that?" And he just jokingly looked at me and he's like, "I got drunk." And so that was just a really funny response to him. And like, he's like very serious as well. Like it was funny, but he's like, "Yeah, we were." He said a lot when he first joined the army that a lot of them were just, including him, were young, arrogant, and invincible in their eyes. And so this was part of it. And he explained how it wasn't obviously the best idea. That's what they should have done. But obviously, when you're back from fighting for a year, that's just what you're gonna do. And so I asked him also as well. I think he missed the most from the United States, and I was expecting a loved one, some type of food, his bed, but no. He looked at me very seriously and was like, "I miss the American way of life." Because in Afghanistan and Iraq, you have to have your head on swivel. You wake up to gunfire. You can't walk down the street into that. And he missed that, being able just to wake up and walk down the street just to go get a cup of coffee, and just really put into perspective how much he went through over there. Um, I then asked him if he believed that this nation, if it owed him anything for serving. He's like, "No, I actually owed the nation something." In that, the reason he joined the armed forces in the first place was that he had this deep desire that he needed to do something for this nation. And so he's like, "I'll call it even then." That he gave his services and he felt that this is what I needed to do. And he also stated as well, he wants more people to find a way to serve this nation, not exactly in the armed forces, but just in some way to give back to this nation. And so another little funny story that he explained is that when I did the interview, I was like, "Hey, do you have any favorite foods you had while serving, everything like that?" And he was like, "I can't think of anything at the moment, but he'll text me about it." And I was like, "All right, no problem." And he texted me later, but later he's like, "I will never, ever eat another Pop Tart again unless it's a life or death situation." I just thought that really funny how many Pop Tarts he ate over there. It's just very, very interesting. And so we all come back full circle to this project on War and Peace. And I asked him his thoughts on War and Peace. And he was like, "Hey, another war is inevitable. Just look at history." And he's like, he said that it was basically his job and his generation to get us ready for the next war as well. In that not only is war happening over in Afghanistan right now, but there's wars that veterans are fighting to this day with themselves, and that we need to do whatever we can to help out these veterans who are going through these struggles. And that's why he is actually stationed, like right now, why he's living in Oregon is because there's this camp up there called Divide Camp, which helps out veterans. And they helped him, and so now he's helping them out, trying to get as many veterans there to get service to make sure that they're as healthy as possible instead of going down and drinking their sorrows away, is what he said. He also said that we need to do more for mothers. Mothers, if their son or daughter dies, they get a flag and a ceremony, and that's it. And he thinks we need to do way more for these mothers who are losing their sons and daughters. And so I found that very impactful for how much love he has towards mothers, and as well as he reinstated that we need to do our part for our nation, whether that be, I think in my opinion, teaching um, kids what is really going on in the world, or serving, or just doing something to help this nation as a nurse or anything like that. We need to find a way to give back, is what he said. And so this reflection on this whole interview process, this picture is just as one from our Zoom interview I screenshotted. This reflection definitely put a lot of things in perspective. First of all, I found out I know nothing about the war in Afghanistan with Iraq. I need to figure out that more about. I've also learned that when I teach history now, I need to do a lot better job of showing the human side of things and getting the veterans' perspective. And interview with Kyle as well just showed me that I should probably go find a veteran to bring into my classroom just to talk to the kids, because talking to him puts so much perspective on everything. What's also nice is that because we're related, and I haven't seen him in a while because he lives in Oregon. It was just very nice to get in touch with him again. We've been texting back and forth with this project, and it's been very nice. It's been nice as well just to hear, because my mom absolutely loves him, and so it's just nice to see just this whole family connection getting back together, and it's just been a great process, and I'm really glad I did this. And so there you go. Like I said again, my name is Zach Ahrenholtz. This is my presentation of Through Their Eyes, War and Peace, my veteran project, where I interviewed my first cousin once removed, Kyle Whelan, who's a veteran who fought in the war of Iraq and Afghanistan. Thank you for your time.